Welcome back to a brand new live stream on the channel. Hope you guys are all having a good day. Why the fuck is there two lines here? Anyways, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. The market is obviously pumping since the last time I've been live. I told you guys that if we can close above this region over here, which we did. So we broke out, came retested 1, 2, 3 times, and then we just exploded up. And I told you guys the last time we was live as well, that after the big beautiful bill got passed, that the market is ultimately very bullish, because what that does is it increases the deficit, and it just means that the government is going to spend more. And when the government spends more, there's more currency in circulation, and risk assets that have a fixed supply, which in this case crypto, stocks, whatever it is, they tend to outperform fiat. So they just get marked higher, and the people that pay for the market to go higher is the people that hold cash and the people that's holding debt, because the debt is only going to increase nonstop. The government of the US is never ever going to stop printing, and therefore the people that hold bonds are only going to get worse and worse. They get a little bit of yield, but what's the point of getting 5% on a 10 years when you can get a 5%, 10% move in Bitcoin in one day? That's where they lose out. So it's good to see you guys back as well. Jobin, good to see you, buddy. Merkel, good to see you. Tony, Omar, walaikum salam, my friend. How you doing? Mugen, Zion, good to see you. Imran, good to see you as well, buddy. Andreas, very good to see you, buddy. I hope you're having a good day today. I appreciate you as always, Andreas. Savage, good to see you as well. I mean, Complete, good to see you. Savage, good to see you, my friend. Shabor, good to see you. Palace, good to see you. Crypto G, good to see you as well. Dida, how you doing, my friend? Carlos, Mugen, Rajesh, good to see you as well. But how's everyone doing today? Any questions? Let me just check if there's any questions. Now, guys, do be very careful. I know the market is pumping right now, and what tends to happen is when the market is pumping, people forget about all the macro stuff. So if you are having any trades or you're taking any trades, do be very mindful that on Tuesday, the 15th of July, which is literally in the space of 4 days, on Tuesday next week, we are going to get the inflation numbers. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Like I said, if you got trades open and they in profits, do not forget to pay yourselves. Probably on Monday. I think Monday is a good time to take profits, because just before the inflation numbers, the market might either have a little pullback or just stall. And when the market stalls or the market has a slight little pullback, your altcoins are going to get affected a little bit more. So I would be very, very mindful off Tuesday. That does not mean we're probably most likely going to continue to have a weekend pump. And that is because there's so much bullish news coming out consistently. Next week, we got these crypto announcements from the US government. And I think one of them is going to be the Genesis bill being passed, which is basically the stable coins being legislated, and big companies, Amazon, Google, whatever it is, they can start issuing stable coin payments potentially. So, just do be very mindful of Tuesday. We got some very big data coming out, the inflation numbers. And then let's just go down to see if there's anything else. PPI will probably follow maybe like 4 or 5 days later. Yeah, so Tuesday looks like the most important day. Yeah, Tuesday is a very important day. And then end of the month, we got FOMC as well. So do be very mindful. Look, I get this question quite often. If holding alt feels like you're missing the bull run. Well, let's make this very clear. Every single time the market has exploded, alt has exploded with the markets. And I don't like repeating myself 100 times. It's a narrative play. If you believe in the deepen narrative, if you believe in the AI narrative, the storage narrative, all the narratives that they are in, they are going to be expanded to RWA as well once they tokenize the data set, the data hub, sorry. So if you believe in those narratives, then alt will pump with the markets. Crypto works in narratives. The coins that pump all the time are the meme coins or the high caps. When the market gets bullish, the high caps will always pump because everyone knows about them. That's why they pump. People go rush to buy those coins. However, when the deepen narrative wakes up, guess what happens? People look for deepen only, and then they start looking for coins in the deepen narrative specifically, and that's where alt will stand out. So if you believe in the deepen pump, which I do, because NVIDIA is the number one company in the world, and they're known for their chips, the GPU chips, the CPU chips. So clearly, it's an undervalued narrative. So if you believe in the AI narrative, the deepen, the storage, it has like 5 different narratives to pump with, then you don't need to worry about short-term price action, because in December, and the AI agent narrative as well, what did OORT do? OORT pumped 5x in the space of a week with the AI agent narrative. And they don't even advertise the AI agents, but it is still pumped with the market. Most other AI coins was not pumping. It was specifically AI agent coins in December times, November to December. So it's just all about patience, my friend. If you don't have the patience and you want your portfolio to go up 5% with some meme coin, then that's fine. Go do that. If your whole portfolio is relying on OORT to pump, then you're overexposed. You need to get some high caps. Look at C. C, I went really heavy in, and is pumping aggressively. C is up 90% the last 3 months, 64% the last month. Look at Injective, another high cap I've been telling people to buy. It's up. How much is it up the last 3 months? Let's see. It's up 54% the last 3 months. Look at Ondo. Ondo had an aggressive pump today as well. So it all depends on how you adjusted your portfolio. This has pumped 23%. C's doubled. Sui's pumped. Tower's pumped. So you don't need to just rely on one coin. There's all the other narratives of coins are pumping as well. If you're only relying on one coin, like let's look at the other deep in narrative coins. Look at Aether. Aether is only up fuck all. The last is up 7%. So does this feel like you're missing the old season as well, whatever you're talking about? Look at Natix. This is another deep in coin. It's down 1% on the day. So it's not the coin specifically, is the narrative. Let's look at Hive or whatever the fuck it's called. Hive is a Hive mapper or some shit. This is one that's been around for years. And look at the chart. It's just in the same range. It was here in June, came down, and now it's back up. So it's not, like I said, it's not about missing the narrative. It's whether you're willing to bet on the deeper narrative or not. If you're not willing to bet on it, then go buy something else. It's not rocket science. I genuinely think for the last 2 years, we've not had a deepen run. And deepen is one of those that everyone needs in everyday life. When I use my laptop, the way I'm streaming now, I need GPUs and CPUs for it to operate. So we need it in the daily life. And, once a deeper narrative wakes up, you're going to see pumps across the board like you've never seen before. If you're not betting on the deeper narrative, then then realistically, it probably won't pump in the short term. Look at Fingy. Look at Render. Render, the last 3 months is basically in the same range. Had a lower pump recently because it's a high cap. Anyways, let's move on, bro. Has alt season officially started when dominance will go? Exactly. People talking about, oh, we're missing the alt season. Bro, dominance is fucking down 1% or 2% from 66. It's down 1.8%, and people talking about they're missing alt season. How the fuck does that make sense? It's only down from 66 to 64. You're not missing alt season, my friend. Alt season has not even started, because look at the metric. The metric is still 29% in favorable to beat Bitcoin season. It is not alt season. It says it right here. It is not alt season. Not yet. Because the top 100 coins are not outperforming Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is either keeping up or performing, they're basically not outperforming the top 100 coins. That's what they class as alt season, when the top 100 coins are outperforming Bitcoin. So it hasn't really started yet. So I would be very mindful saying you're going to miss an alt season when we haven't even started alt season yet, my friend. Dominance is down literally 1.8%. It's crazy how people get. If people are impatient, bro, it's actually ridiculous. It's been 1 day of Bitcoin pumping and people talking about them missing alt season. And by the way, guys, just to make an announcement, I have officially, I will be helping OORT with their marketing. So you are going to see a bunch of marketing effort over the next 2 to 3 months, because I have a meeting with them on Tuesday next week. So I'm going to help them get some big KOLs involved in the project, help them market the appropriate way, because the way they do market a lot, but they just market in the wrong areas. So, like I said, I will be joining the OORT's marketing. I'll be helping them basically because I hold the token and I want the project to do well. So, and they don't know how to market it because they're kind of like Web2. They're like a legit company, but they want to market the token. That's it's going to be very good because I'm going to get some big KOLs. I'm going to reach out to all the big KOLs to basically promote the project. OORT makes plenty of money anyway, so I'll be more. I wouldn't be surprised if they're willing to pay hundreds of grands for the marketing campaign. City, good to see you, bro. How you been? Berserker, good to see you as well. Can props do a 10x from here? All-time high I'm seeking for RWA. Bro, I think props is one of the most undervalued and I think one of the safest RWA coins. And if you look at the price action, it's basically near the bottom. It did pump a little bit. But Propbase, from what they got, coming up this month, for this to go back to its all-time high, let's just look at the market cap. 80 million, that will be an 8x from here. Now, do I think Propbase can exceed that? I do think they can, because the Propbase that was out here is not as a good project than it was over here. Just because it's been diluted a little bit, the market cap's slightly higher, that doesn't mean nothing because Propbase is 10 times the better project down here than it was up here. It's just over here we had an RWA season, the market was bullish. This is what people don't forget to realize. Now, let's look at what Propbase has in store. And this is one of the projects I do want to be talking about today over the next couple of months. So that's their plans, right? So the next asset offering is coming this month. So in July, they're going to have a new property offering. And every single time they have a property offering, the price tends to shoot up. And that is because people stake their tokens to get more allocation in the property. Number two, recap of the dev recent milestone. They do have an AMA in like 3 days. The bridge, they're going to talk about the bridge as well. So what they've done is they've basically, so what they've done is they've basically bridged from, I think it was Aptos and Base. So the Base network did not have as much liquidity. And what they've done is they've done this little weird bridge thing where the liquidity, this bot sends liquidity from both places. So most of the liquidity is on Aptos. So if people want to buy heavy, they'll go have to buy an Aptos. But what this bridge does is it moves liquidity about. Rio does this as well. So it moves from different chains. So if there's a big buy order, then the liquidity will be there. So the big whales don't get slippage or high slippage. So this is a massive move because now big whales can also get involved in Propbase. If someone wants to buy 100K, 200K, because that's what happens in a bull run, when the Bitcoin whales start coming down to the low caps, they're going to be chucking in large amounts of money in these projects, and they tend to go for the ones with big liquidity. So, the fact that they're increasing their liquidity is going to be a massive move, in my opinion. They're also going to be having their marketing campaign kickoff as well, which is going to be good. They got new listings, SEX and DEX expansion, and then some giveaways and stuff. But, they've got a bridge in under 60 seconds, whatever, right? So it's going to be very cheap, 0.01 gas fees. Ethereum bridge is coming after launch. So after this other chain is done, the liquidity bridge is done, they're going to be expanding to Ethereum and then Solana and AVAX and many other chains. And by the end of 2025, their goal is to reach 100K holders, which is going to be massive because it just brings a massive community. Prop-based community is already massive. You go look at their website and this is how you know a project has solid community. It's very, very simple. You look at this, right? Utility tokens fast become one of the most popular sectors in the space. This is the most talked about tokens on Twitter. Rio, Aki, Propbase is up here, Injectives up here, Naka, Anyone, CAS, and all these other coins. These guys are always making it on the list, and that is because they have a solid community. So I'm very, very bullish on Propbase, and the fact that it's sitting basically at the range lows, is a good, very, very good buying opportunity in my opinion. What a pump in Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin always leads the pump, just like we did down here, right? You go back to the November, December pump over here, the September pump, sorry. Guess what happened? Bitcoin led the pump, exploded after Trump came in office, and then altcoins start to follow like a week or two after. after Bitcoin had its pump. So just just keep that in mind. There's going to be obviously altcoins that pump in now, anyways, but the majority of the alts, they're going to be moving in about a week, and that's when dominance should potentially come down lower. It needs to break this current support over here. Once it breaks that, then it is go time pretty much. It's not 30%. Let's hope it's not fake pump. It normally pumps with the market, or it's like a stable coin reminds of ADA in 2021, then explodes and made crazy gains. I do agree with you very, very much. Even ADA was the same. I made a lot of money in ADA. That was one of my big purchases that I made a lot of money on in 2020 cycle. ADA was literally dead, and it just fucking exploded, bro. That's what I'm expecting in OORT. It's just a slow cooking play, but you gotta keep in mind, guys. There's 10 other coins that's pumping. If one doesn't pump, who gives a shit? If your high caps are pumping, Sensei, ATR, Brick, and all these other coins are pumping, one doesn't move, it's not gonna kill you, bro. Realistically. How you doing, my friend? You are. What are you thinking? Finally, it's happening. It takes a few weeks for odds to rally. Yeah, exactly. GameFi knows how it works. Do I think is a good DGen play? It's not really a DGen play. This is an old project that did really well last cycle. I don't really think is a DGen play. But oh shit! Oh, Carbon Browser. Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one, the Brave one. Yeah, Carbon browser tends to do fairly well. It's not a crazy narrative. The fucking this type of narrative was good last cycle. I don't think it's going to be as explosive this cycle. So I would be very careful, my friend. I don't really think it's a DGen play, but it will have little pumps like it did back in November, December. But I think you can make more money elsewhere. For a $3 million coin, there's better options out there. But it has good volume though. Is it good to see you, bro? How you been? What's my exit strategy? My exit strategy is always DCA in and DCA out. There's a target. So once Bitcoin hits my target, because I do hold a decent amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum, so I think the target area for me. How do you draw a box in this fucking thing? How do you draw a box? Say here, right? Can you draw a box? The fuck. Hold on. Oh, there you go. I would say this area right here, between the 130 to the 150, I think in this area I would start to DCA out. And when I say DCA out, it doesn't mean that you just take 2-3% out. I mean, you probably take like 40-50% out here, maybe even 60%. And there's always a chance. There's always a chance Bitcoin can obviously go higher, all the way up to, I don't know, 200K. But if you are a smart investor, you would look to start to DCA out, between 130 to 150. Of course, you can always go higher, but that's why you continue to DCA out. You don't just hold, because this is why most people, even though they make money, but they walk away with no money, is because what tends to happen is, and this is going to happen to some of you in this, because if you're not in the private group, I can't help you take profits, because then, that's the whole point of having a private group. You help people take profits. If you're going to hit a lot of people when we hit this range over here, you're going to hear a lot of people call for 200K. It's going to happen. I guarantee you're going to go all over Twitter. Everyone's going to be screaming 200K while all the whales start to DCA out. Slowly, it might take a month, might take a month and a half. They're going to start DCAing out while retail continues to bid up the price, become the exit liquidity because they thinking it's going to go to 200K. So do not be one of those guys. Be very, very conservative. I told people many times, you are not here to make money in one cycle. It will take at least 2 cycles for you to make anything decent. Most people don't even make money in their first cycle. So if you're lucky enough to actually make money in your first cycle, by actually being smart and not getting greedy, simply DCA out. If your coin's up 5-10%, start to DCA out. And it could go a bit higher, or you could go another 28% after that, 20x after that. But who gives a shit? You don't know. You can't tell the future. So you don't think, I could have made more. Of course, you can always make more, but that's where you get caught in the trap. you're thinking you can always, I could have made more, I could have made more. If you have that mindset, I promise you, nothing is going to be enough. How many people do you know came in 2022, hit their target, and then let's say they got 100K, they made $1 million. Their target was $1 million for the when they first came in, and then once they hit their $1 million, they're always going to increase the fucking target. It goes from 1 million to 2 million to 5 million, and this is where the greed comes in. Nothing is ever enough for people. And people always want more money. This is just how this shit works. So, like I said, DCA out. Do not be what's it called? One of those greedy fuckers, bro. Do I think finally all going pro? Yeah, I'm gonna be marketing the shit out of it, bro. Bid on bid. Bid is actually pretty good, actually. I think it's a good launchpad for the fucking, what's it called? For the BNB chain. Will the pump token destroy the market like what happened with? I don't think so, no. I think pump is on his last leg because most of the mind share has gone into bonk now. And I think pump is on his, is doing one last money grab before they just, the thing just I think is gonna die. Not only pump was doing well when there was no competition, but now there's too much competition. What do I think about Cola? I bought a trade on Cola. If you guys listened to me, you would have made a 2x on Cola. Cola pumped literally 2x. It's come down now, but Cola literally pumped 2x, and I think it's a good token. If you got in here at the lows, at the peak over here, I don't know why this says so low, but it wicked up to almost 3 cents. So that's basically a 2x. Because the BBB duos having similar run to 2020. I think so, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of bro said dream crypto. A0 got rugged, my friend. Everything altcoin, is that a real one? Have you changed your fucking display picture? I do think base summer, yes. I think base summer is very likely, bro. One of my low cap base plays is Hive. Hive Intelligence is having a very, very good month. It's up 23%, which is pretty good considering, I think once it breaks the 8 cent region and holds, it's going to start flying. Look at the chart. Chart looks very good. It's a slow grind up. It's not an aggressive move, but this is because they've been working nonstop. Look at Nexus. They've just partnered with Nexus. They've partnered with Scroll. These guys are blasting partnerships left, right, and center, which is very, very good. They're doing AMAs with Cluster. I think they partnered with Cluster as well, Cluster Protocol. Scroll is a pretty big company in terms of Web3. Is a very well-known project in the space. So that's very good to see them expanding. But I think in the end, I think everyone will potentially start to use Hive for the AI agents because it's a useful project. We've also had, not too long ago, just before I went live, we had another 250 million USDC being minted. This is equivalent to 1 billion being minted on USDT. So, I think once this gets minted, you're going to see very soon another 1 billion being minted on the USDT chain. What about not on Sol? I'll have a look at not on Sol, but A0, my friend, is dead, bro. I would not be getting into A0. I remember you rugged, but I don't know what happened to it. Did it recover? No, this looks fucked, bro. I would not be buying A0, bro. Team fucked that one. What about not on Sol? I'll have a look into that one in a bit. Can't make the live. G, how you doing? Scrub, good to see you, bro. Appreciate it. Anyways, can you do a favor, explain the learning process that you went through? Would love to create an unpaid online course so we can learn more from you. Could you please do a favor and explain the learning process you went through? Would love if you create an online. I got a private group, bro. I got a private group. If you want to join it, the link is in the description. You can join for the Ko-fi link, bro. That's where I teach people everything. Bro, when have you seen alt pump normally, bro? Just give it some time. I'm going to start marketing it, bro. How do you set your target price? There's no really target prices, bro. I just DCA out when I'm happy with what I made. Look, the more money you put in the project, the quicker you should DCA out. The less money you have in a project, you could potentially wait it out a bit more. That's how it normally works. If you're heavy on a project and you make some good money, then the reality is you should not get greedy. Like I put a large amount of money in C, like a very large amount, and then once it pumped 2x, I took 60% out straight away. I went heavy between the 15 cent to the 13 cent region. My average is like 15 cents or some shit. And then once it hit 30 over here, I cashed out 60% out. 60% of that move. I made a lot of money, bro. Like I've made more than people's salary in the space of that 1 month. Like multiple salaries. And that's because I went really heavy. So sometimes if you go really heavy, even after a 2 to 3x, is enough for you to get your initials out and take some profits and then leave a meme bag. Because I'm bullish on C, I left a decent sized meme bag anyways. Is Hive on base? Yeah, Hive's on base, bro. That's like I said, I was looking for a base play because someone kept asking me on a base play, and then I found Hive. And it's one of those projects that gets used a lot. Look at the volume. This is very impressive volume. 1 million for 3 million market cap. Very, very good volume. And the dilution is phenomenal. You look at the vesting schedule, it's fuck all. It's like 400K to the end of the year. It's not barely any dilution. And you can tell the vesting does not affect any of the project because the project is slowly going up. And the early investors, the team advisors, whatever you want to call them, they get their tokens in 180 days. So they get their tokens probably at the end of the bull run, more or less, than they get it in 2026. So you don't have to worry about them. SEX liquidity, the more liquidity that's unlocked is fine. You want more liquidity. This actually has a good liquidity for a low cap. Ecosystem development, that's just for the project. Doesn't really mean public sales out. Public sale was most of the early investors. That's 35%. They've already been, the tokens have already been released. So the only early investor was these guys. They got the tokens months ago. They already have dumped it. So there's not really much people that can dump on you. These guys, like I said, they get their tokens in time. It's like 2K a day while the volume is 1 million. Even if these guys were selling 2K a day every day, it's not going to matter because the fucking, the volume averages 800K to a million. So it does not make a difference. There's no selling pressure. You can look at the chart. It's slowly climbing up. And these are the type of coins with just one partnership or one KOL pump. It's just going to fly up like that. So, this is a very decent project, in my opinion, for a low cap base play. I'm very, very bullish on ESX. Let's go over ESX actually because they have some announcements coming. It has dumped a little bit, like 10%, but the 3-month chart looks pretty good. If you guys got in over here when I told you to guys to buy around the 110, between the 1 cent region, then you'd still be in profits. But what they have coming is they have their testnet coming out very soon. They've just done the first property or the second property actually. But at the moment, they're focused on bringing out the testnet because what they want with their launchpad is they want projects to be building on top of the EstateX token or the what's it called, the layer 1. So, and they've already secured one project that's going to be launching on EstateX, and every project that launches on there will need a EstateX trading pair, which means everyone that wants to trade will have to buy EstateX either for gas fees or for on-chain use or whatever it is. So that's going to bring a lot of TVL to the project. Keep that in mind, TVL, because when the more projects build on you, your TVL always increases. Do I think the lack of exchanges will limit Sensei? No, not really, because if the lack of exchanges limited it, it would have not pumped the initial time, the first time. So I don't think the lack of exchanges matter, but keep in mind, they are going to get exchanges. Trust me, they are going to get exchanges. Exchanges has to be done at the right time. Look at Propbase. They've secured a tier 2 exchange, but they're not going to release it now because it's not going to affect the charts as much. You want to do this type of stuff at the right time. It's the same thing with OORT. I am going to be marketing OORT with the team. I'm not going to market it now just for the fucking community to be happy, like for a 10-20% pump. We are going to get, well, they are going to get new market makers for OORT. So market makers are basically like people, it's just like the exchanges, whatever market maker you want to call it. They pump the price up with the market, and then they dump it with the market. So if the market pumps 20-30% on average, then the market makers will also push the price of all up that much as well. Look at the volume. Volume's increased significantly. It means a lot of people are starting to accumulate. And look what happened last time. It was dead. It was dead. November, it was just chilling. Had a low rally, came back down, and then boom, just exploded up. So it's all about patience. The exact same thing is going to happen again, because not only are they going to get new market makers, they're also going to get more KOLs. They told me to send a list of KOLs to them, and they're going to reach out to all of them. And we're going to send them the fucking expensive KOLs, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to send them the House of Cryptos, the Banters, and all those fucking big KOLs, because they're the ones that can pump it. Do I think RWA coins are about car renting, buying or something? Look, do I think RWA coins that are about car renting? No, fuck no, bruv. Fuck no. Why do you need RWAs for car renting, realistically, bro? Like, who's really gonna give up their stable coins to go rent a car? Most people are not gonna do that. They'll just use fiat. Why would you use your stable coins? Because you gotta think like this, right? When people are onboarding large amounts of money in crypto, not only is it hard for them to do so from their bank, because the bank oftentimes block the transactions, and people would do anything for stable coins. It's always hard to get stable coins, because if you want to put 50K in crypto, your bank will block the transaction. So, and the only way you can do it is 2K at a time. So it's hard to get access to stable coins anyways. Why would people then use their stable coins that is hard to get access to because the banks won't allow it, to fucking buy or rent a car? Doesn't make sense. They would just use their fiat in their bank account. That's the whole point. So I don't really see why it's even a narrative, because if that was the case, look at autos, but this shit is dead. It's not doing shit. It's even down 2% today. If this was going to be a narrative, and this is backed by Alex Becker, the biggest YouTuber in the fucking space, even he can't pump it. It will pump. Don't get me wrong. This will pump with the RWA narrative, but so will every other RWA coin. So it doesn't mean nothing. But if this was going to be a narrative, look at the other one. Carnomaly, whatever it's called. This one right here. This would have been pumping as well. Instead, it's down 99% from the all-time fingers. Had a nice rally over here. Since then, he ain't done shit, because it's a dead narrative. When people look for RWAs, they look for real estate. They look for tokenized stocks, which is what Injective is doing, Ondo's doing. They look for tokenizing debt, whatever the fuck that is, like, stuff like that. Tokenizing, well, they don't even tokenize it. They just, like, for example, autos, all it does is you can rent a car with stable coins. Like I explained to you, most people do not want to give up their stable coins, because it's hard to get large amounts of stable coins from the bank, because they just block the transaction. It might be a thing after the bull run, when everyone's got stable coins, they don't want to spend some. That could be a thing afterwards. But the current time, people are not using the stable coins to rent cars, but let's be honest. Is it the best time? It's not a bad time to buy Sensei. And what happened last time, and I remember very vividly, before Sensei made the massive move up over here, you see this, it made a move in October, dumped back down, made another move, and came back down, and then just exploded up. So what we see now is we had the move up right here. Look, move up, dump. We had this dump over here, explode up, maybe get another little mini dump, maybe get back to 2 cents, and then come back down slightly, and then explode up. Maybe the same thing plays out again. But it's a good time to DC into Sensei. But like I said, people that are worried about the Sensei listing, they are going to get more exchange listing. Trust me, it's just all about timing. It's all about timing. Good stream on. Good to see you, but how you been? Do we still keep our dry powder for the pullback? Should we mostly be in the market? What I do is I use my dry powder for trades. So at the moment, I'm running a bunch of trades. I'm running Grift as a trade. This one that pumped 4x for me on the previous pump. So I'm running this as a trade at the moment. It tends to move fast. I got a Cola trade open. I've got a Hippo trade open just because if Sui makes a move up, then Hippo will always follow. So that's something that last time Sui pumped, Hippo done fairly well. Done like if you get in from down here, let's say, it almost gave you like a 4x, which is pretty decent. On average, a meme coin that much, I think is fairly good. I also bought some ARC Soul. This is another one of those. So this one here. This one right here, AI Ring, I think it is. I bought this as well, just because, like I said, when the market tends to get bullish, it tends to have a decent move. The last time it pumped to 10 cents. So if it pumps to 10 cents again, I'll be very, very happy. Had to change the pick, but yeah, talked about Hive last run in December. To be honest, I only found it recently, everything, but it looks pretty good though. Are you still bullish on it? Let me know if you're still bullish on it, bro. It's good to see though, everything, bro. I think we should do another stream soon, bro. What do you think? What about Strike? I don't think Strike is a bad token. Strike is very similar to some of these other high caps in terms of, I think they bring, hold on, I'm pretty sure these guys bring stocks on chain as well, like similar to SMT, Future of Financial Markets here, bringing stocks on chain. I don't think this is a bad platform. They've been around for a very long time, and it seems to be doing. It tends to have his pumps and then just straight away goes back down, bro, which is crazy. Chart looks terrible though. How much do you think you can make from 20K portfolio AI gaming? If gaming comes back, Berserker, I genuinely think if we get a gaming pump, it will be one of the most legendary pumps ever, because most gaming projects are down 90 to 99%, a majority of them down 90 to 90%. Maybe the only ones that are doing well is maybe Beam. Even Beam is down like 70, 80%, and Superverse, that's it. The rest of them, maybe Gala as well, Gala's okay, but the rest of them are getting, the low caps, mid caps gaming coins are non-existent anymore. They've all just been sent to the abyss. So if we do get a gaming pump, that's going to be the narrative where people will genuinely make the 50 to the 100x's, the 200x's, the 500x's. That's where the money is going to be made if we get a gaming run. And I really hope we do. I'm not betting on it. I do hold gaming projects in case we do, but it's not a majority of my portfolio. It's a small amount. And that's mainly because, gaming has been dead. No one cares about gaming anymore. RWA, I think, will be a narrative because that's where we're getting a lot of mass adoption in RWA right now. And AI and Deepin and these kind of narratives will always pump. NAI looks like a solid buy at this price. NAI is a phenomenal buy as well. If you guys caught the dip, you guys would have made some decent money, but they have their mainnet dropping this month. So it's been guaranteed now. And one of the things that kind of caused this little FUD moment down here is because what happened was you got to keep in mind some projects, when they're making real tech, the deadlines are always going to be a little bit off. So if they say that they're going to drop the mainnet in 2 weeks and it ends up taking 3 weeks, some people get really impatient. But the mainnet does go live very, very soon. By the end of this month, the Nuklai mainnet will be completely out, and then they're going to get some Web3, Web2 customers. They're going to be generating revenue, and they're going to start marketing as well, getting more exchange listings. Because at the moment, like I said, the whole team is focused on the mainnet because they're building real life products. And anyone that understands tech, if you understand tech, if you're doing computers or whatever, right? If you're doing anything related to that narrative in real life and you understand what they're building, these guys are building something really, really good, and people will utilize it. So I'm very, very bullish on this project. I mean, just look at their website. Look how clean their website is. They have over 80K trusted partners on the ecosystem, which is crazy to think. 80 plus, and it's sitting at $6 million in market cap. And keep in mind, one of the best things I like about this project, right? Let's go over. Let me see if I can find the CEO. Even House of Crypto's following it. Where's it? Matthew, is it? What's the CEO's name, bro? Let's put M on there. Let's go on the following. I'm pretty sure the CEO should be on here, but the CEO said some good shit. So he basically put an announcement saying that people were concerned on the unlocks in November. So what they've done is they've ultimately extended that. So the team tokens unlock in 2026. I think it's like mid 2026 to avoid selling pressure. The Nexus holders, whatever, they get their tokens. They got delayed as well. So they're going to get in 2026. The only people that's going to start getting their tokens are the seed guys. And that's 1 million token a day, which is not a lot. It's like a 1 grand basically. And the current price is like 1.6K. But there's going to be there's not going to be much selling pressure, and this is something the CEO addressed. I don't know why the fuck I can't find his CEO. If someone got the link, share it, bro, please. Yeah, I can't find it, bro. Fuck this. Oh, actually, hold on. It should be at the top because they just done an AMA. Fuck. There he is, bro. This fucking guy right here. This is the CEO. Yeah, so look what you typed. So with night unlocks approaching November, I've seen some concerns and here's some clarity. Team tokens postponed to next summer in 2026. So they're not going to unlock until the conditions improve. Very good. Stakers, NXRA stakers, they're also postponed. And then they're obviously going to do the burn and earn thing, whatever. But the seed guys, they get the 1.2 million tokens a day, which is not a lot. 1.2 million night is like 1 to 2K. It's not a lot. By that time, they'll have a little bit more exchange listings, more volume, etc. So people that's concerned about the unlocks, they've addressed that, which is very, very good. But very bullish on the ecosystem as well. Look at the ecosystem of this project. Look how much projects is on the ecosystem. It was ridiculous. Some very, very big names in here. Fetch AI, Filecoin, Peak, IONET, Aether, etc. It's very, very undervalued, bro. I think is and it moves fast as well. Keep that in mind. It moves fast. Look at how much it pumped the last time. I called this down here. It pumped like 6x in the space of that 1 month, and it's not even an AI agent coin, which is crazy. Anyways, guys, smash that like button as well. To Boss Man, what are you saying, bro? Boss, good to see you, bro. How you been? Yep, this very, very bullish. Very, very bullish, bro. Thoughts on GPU, NOS, TIE, and AI tech. All of those are in the deepen narrative. So, like I said, I am bullish on the deepen narrative, Bammy. And once the deepen narrative wakes up, a lot of these coins will have a nice pump. Are you talking about this GPU or this GPU? There's 2 GPUs. This is the new one. And it's quite undervalued, to be fair, for the market cap it's at. This is not a bad one. And then you obviously got the old GPU. This was called in my private group, this GPU here, like 200K market cap. At the very peak, it reached 200 million. So you would have made like fucking hundreds of X's on this shit. I think that's like 1,000X on this. On Node AI. Found this at 200K market cap, was crazy. Do you think Cola go down now? Possibly. Cola had a 2x pump, so after a 2x pump, you're always going to see some sort of little correction, and it looks like it's having its little correction now. Yeah, look, after a 2x pump, you're going to get a little dump. But Bitcoin's looking strong though. Bitcoin's looking very strong. Sensei said they have some big news on Monday on their last AMA call. I hope it's going to be the Sui integration. Gains. I mean, always making 10 million annual profits. A couple expensive girls won't hurt. Exactly, bro. They told me get a list of all the top KOLs, send it to me, and we're gonna reach out to them. But I'm gonna help them with the marketing though. It's gonna be quite good. Our trade is useful avoiding capital tax. Yo, that's actually true, you know. If you guys are trying to avoid some capital tax, bro, get into art trade because you can go buy a Rolex. So you stake art trade, if you have a certain amount of tokens, stake this shit, and then you can buy a Rolex with it. And but you get it 40% cheaper, and you won't get taxed on that. You won't get taxed on a purchase. Buy a bunch of Rolexes and fucking sell it back. And that way you'll never get taxed. But it's pumping a lot though. Art trade is one of my favorite RWA coins. It's up almost 2x from the lows. Very, very good project. It was surprising and funny when BTC made a new all-time high. Witness good news after good news. Exactly, bro. It was like it's all planned. It was crazy. Like all these fucking news were coming back to back to back. I don't know, bro. If the gaming does come back, like I said, it will be a legendary pump. It's hard to say if gaming will come back or not. All 1 billion market cap possible. I would not be holding to 1 billion, bro. Definitely not. It's not even, it probably will reach 1 billion at some point, maybe in the next cycle. But right now it's not really worth holding to like 1 billion. Like I said, the heavier you are in a project, you might only need the 10x realistically, bro, and just leave a green bag. All low. Let's have a look at all low, bro. It's on Solana. I can't really look at it, bro. It's got 79k liquidity. I don't even want to be going on deck screener, bro. Do I think real Sensei can 10x from here? Do I think real Bricken is a phenomenal Sensei and I think so, yeah. I mean, look, if for OORT to do a 10x, all it needs is 200 million market cap. Like how could that not be possible? It does not make sense. If OORT does not do a 10x, I'll genuinely be surprised. Genuinely. In like a full-blown OORT season, I'll genuinely be surprised. It was done a 5x in a week on the last AI agent pump. If we pump for another month, another 2x from there would not be that hard. Because there's good volume, good liquidity on the main nets. Whales can get in. Damn, brutal. Good pump on Bricken as well recently, though, from the lows. Not doing too bad. But Bricken will do very well. Like the CEO has a bunch of stuff planned for the second quarter, bro. Gabriel, good to see you, but there's a lot of talks about Black Swan events happening, demand destroying events. What is your opinion about having what? There's a lot of talks about Black Swan event coming, demand destroying event. What in your opinion could be happening? Bond increase, tariffs. Well, there's even bond market increases. The bond market is designed to go up because the times have changed now. Why would people hold debt? Unless like the only people that's going to be incentivized to hold debt is up and coming like smaller countries. All the big countries are getting rid of debt and buying gold. Why is that? Because debt can only go up. So how are you going to make your money on debt if governments are just going to continuously print? So holding bonds or cash is one of the worst things you can do. It's a supply and demand thing. If you have more something in circulation, it becomes less valuable. And if they're going to print an extra 5 trillion because they've added 5 trillion to the deficit, then what happens is you lose your purchasing power and the people holding bonds lose money because those are the people that pay for the markets going higher. Bitcoin's a fixed supply, so it gets higher against cash. That's why it's pumping right now because of the big, beautiful bill. And I explained this exactly on the last live stream. Go watch it. Right? So that's all it comes down to is a supply and demand thing. If something is in more supply, it loses value. If you got unlimited cash just being printed, of course your purchasing power is only going to go down. And people talk about tariffs causing inflation. That's just bullshit. What causes most inflation is government spending and stuff like that. It's never tariffs. A tax hike is what a tariff is. You're just taxing people more money. It cannot cause inflation. Taxing higher does not cause inflation. The real inflation comes from government spending, but they'll never tell you that because then everyone will get onto them like, oh, why are you guys spending money if I'm paying for it? That's what happens. They spend money and you guys pay for it because you're holding cash. If you have Bitcoin, this is how easy it is. If you're a real life investor and you're playing with large amounts of money, it's very easy to think, right? If you bought Bitcoin at 20K, 15K, 30K, and a bottle of water back then was £1, and now is at £1.20, but your Bitcoin has gone up 5x, does that bottle of water become cheaper to you as a Bitcoin holder, or does it become cheaper to you as a cash holder? Of course, it becomes cheaper to you as a Bitcoin holder, because if you compare everything into sats, then everything becomes cheap for you. You don't feel poor. If you compare everything to fiat, the price of everything has increased over the last 3 years. So that's why the people that's holding cash in their bank account, and they don't realize this because most people don't even understand the basics of how money works. The people that's holding cash, just because on their screen they had 10K in there and next month is the same 10K, they think their money is the same as it was a month ago or a year ago. The reality is you're losing purchasing power, and every single month that 10% of your fucking money, or you lose 10% of your 10K, because the price of everything goes higher through inflation, and that's because the government is continuously printing more money. That's how it works. Very basic economics. Gola 10 to 20x, possibly, but if Gola even pulls another 5x, I'll be happy with my trade, bro. Honestly. Do I think AMU's dead? AMU's been dead a long time ago. I got rid of that shit a long time ago. If you watched that stream, I'm pretty sure I said the team's abandoned it. I'm holding mono. Let me have a look at this. Mono. Cool. I've never heard of this one, to be honest. It's on virtuals. Mono. Cool. Do I have to go on deck screener to find this shit? Oh, hold on. Monocore by virtuals. Bro, this shit looks fucking dead, bro. What the fuck? It's got 600 volume, bro. Why the fuck would you be holding this? 600 volume. This is a fucking clear rug pull, bro. These are the people that got into the pre-sale of this. Just fucking dumped it on you, bro. That's the whole point of this. So this is supposed to be like a cookie, but on virtuals. Now this narrative's not gonna pop off again, bro. We already got a cookie now. If you already got one, you don't need another one. Like if we got a cookie, why do we need the other shit? Doesn't make sense. So yeah, I would definitely get rid of this shit, bro. It's dead. Can you look at Blaze? Fuck Blaze, bro. I'm not buying that shit again. I made some good money on Blaze, bro. It's rugged, man. Just get rid of this. It's rugged. I don't know why people still hold it. Yo, Shadow, you're funny, bro. Guys, sing. Good to see you, bro. Boy, smash the like button. Let's get to like 80, 100 likes. Naka 1 billion in a game if gaming. No, hell no, bro. If gaming's dead, Naka will probably do like a 5x, 6x maybe max. If gaming comes back, then Naka could do very well. They're like Naka is one of those gaming projects, despite how dead gaming is, has just been holding up really well. This is because they got a solid community. It's very, very solid community, bro. It's only down 65% the last year, which for a gaming project is pretty good, to be honest. I mean, only down 65%, that's like a high cap. Most high caps were down 65% to 70%. So I would say for a gaming project, this held up fairly well. Very, very well. And that's because they got a solid community and they're just non-stop grinding, bro. Fuck, my water's running out, bro. It's so hot in the UK right now. Nice gem on AR. Didn't know that. Nice gem on AR. Oh, yeah. The gem on Arweave. Yep. What exactly is a crypto week? It's gonna be like announcements or some shit. It's gonna be bullshit, bro, in my opinion. Very bullshit. Did we still see a recession in the near future? I think we'll see a recession in 2026 at some point. Yes, I think so. At the moment, no, not anytime soon. That's because unemployment's strong. You can't really have inflation, recession with the good jobs market. So at the moment, no. But things can always change. You gotta keep that in mind. Things can always change. Yo, good bro. I won't mention the German anyways, don't worry. PA, good to see you. How you been, my friend? Sensei, a goodbye? Yeah, I think so, yeah. He's a good boy and a goodbye. I think Sensei is a phenomenal buy. And one of the main reasons it's okay to buy Sensei now, despite being up like 50%, is because House of Crypto is going to drop a video on this soon. So what he said was, he said that over the next week, Bitcoin tends to move first, the high caps move, and then the money kind of flows into the low caps and the mid caps. So what he's going to do is in a week's time, he's going to release a video on his low caps. So that's Sensei, Brick, and ATR. And of course, when House of Crypto talks about them, it's going to pump. So that's why I think Sensei is a good buy. Did AIXBT rug up? I'm not even too sure, bro. AIXBT, is that the fucking bot or is that the other one? This one right here. Yeah, this is a rug pool, bro. What the? Yeah, this is a rug pool's got $200 volume. Either that or virtual ecosystems completely dead. Matt, good to see you, bro. How you been? If you sell between 150K, but do you think during that period RDB and AI will have it? Yeah, look, you have to just wait. You just have to wait for the narrative to pop off. You know, people don't realize crypto works in narratives. You have to bet on the most successful narratives. That's all it comes down to. If you bet on AI agents, you would have made good money. That's why I bet on AI agents. That's why I got into Sensei and because they were AI agents category. And I traded a bunch of AI agents as well. People don't realize I traded so many AI agents. I got into fucking blinks. You know, we got into 3 different blinks. One of them done at 15x. Then we rotated into another blinks that done at 10x. And then there was another blinks that got shared. That one done 150x all in the space of one day. And then we also traded Nye, Schnei, whatever the fuck it's called, and a bunch of other agents. I also traded Scout, which done like a 15x. You know, it is easy to trade when the narrative kicks off because you can literally buy anything with a decent website and it will just fly. But you have to be trenching though. You have to sit on the computer for a long time. And then when a new token launches, check the website. If it looks good, just fucking buy, bro. Just buy. That's all you have to do. We also got into what the other shit called? It was a cousin, one of the cousins, but one of the it was similar to I think it was called Gem XBT. Gem XBT. This one right here, bro. We traded this one as well. This one done very well. Done very well as well. There was another one very similar to this, which done very well. It's been a minute since I asked this, but what do you think the data will come in as? And do you think is really continuing summer, potentially December rate cuts? Look, the big, beautiful bill is inflationary. We all know this. And I think the Fed is purposely trying to create inflation because they need more currency in circulation. And the only way they can, increase the GDP to debt is by printing more money. That's how you increase the GDP. So when they say, they're going to increase GDP higher than the debt, the only way they can do that is through printing. That's all it is. This type of stuff is very simple, but it's just and I think the Fed will cut in September. I do not think they will cut in July. If they do, it will be a surprise one, and the market will explode, and we could top out early. But I don't really think it's I don't think it's likely to see rate cuts in July. I think September, November is almost guaranteed, and then the rally could continue. Yes, and I don't think inflation is going to go high because if you look at trueflation, it's gone to all right. Let's look at trueflation. Trueflation shows that it did have an initial pump. Inflation went up slightly initially, but it came down. It ended up coming back down. Where is it? Let's just keep scrolling down. We'll probably find trueflation. The real. There we go. Look. This is the real inflation numbers. 1.68. So I don't think inflation is going to go down. We did have a fake out when it went from 1.7 or some shit, or 1.6, 1.8, back up to 2, 2.2, and then it just came back down. So I genuinely think inflation will be trending lower. There could be an instance where it kind of gives the market a fake out, where the market kind of put, almost the market feels like inflation is going to go back up and it just drops again. But I don't think inflation is going to trend higher just because tariffs are not inflationary. What do we think about Newt? Seems like a good project, good backers, still good entry. Ivan, good to see you, bro. How you doing? I've seen you mention this one in the comments. Let's have a look. Newton protocol, very good volume. The volume's almost the same as the market cap, which is pretty impressive. Magic Newton Foundation, driving adoption, enabling open development protocol, decentralized infrastructure for on-chain, secure agent authentication. It's not much to the website. They definitely need to change the website. It's one of those where you have to read the white paper, and I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I look into this in my own time, bro. It's like, because the website does not give nothing, it's hard to know what this project specifically does. I'll have a look into this one in my own time, bro, because it does look decent, though. AI take 1 to 3 billion. AI take to 1 to 3 billion, I think is achievable. My favorite stable coin, I'll have to buy. Mr. T, good to see you, boy. How you been? It's a very good stable coin, though. Very good stable coin. But like I said, that once the money rotates into deepen, you're gonna see all explode, bro. Dope migrated to a new token. That's never a good sign, bro. Because the reason they're migrating to a new token is because they fucking rugged this one, farmed the shit out of it. Look at this, bro. They farmed this. Look at the market cap when it came out. It was a fucking 100 million, and now it's $2 million. They can probably make it pump because the amount of money they probably farmed on this shit is probably fucking ridiculous, bro. They probably farmed millions of this, and now they're gonna migrate to a new token and act like none of this shit happened. You can imagine how much money the early investors and all those other motherfuckers made, while retards like Crypto Gains was shilling the shit out of this. 37 likes only. Bro, smash the like button, bro. It's ridiculous. How the fuck do we only have 37 likes? Smash the like button right now, bro. That's crazy work. Takes 2 seconds out of your time, boys. Come on. Let's get the likes up. XLM, XDC, and OORT. Yeah. XLM pumped nicely today. XDC follows. They're like they're all kind of working in the same. They all pump at the same time. When XRP pumps, XLM pumps. This one pumps. Oh, this one hasn't pumped yet. Oh, it has pumped. This one pumps. Sologenic pumps. All of these pump together at the same time. Look, Sologenic most likely pumped as well. Yeah, Sologenic had this pump as well. So the money just rotates between all of these. It's like a little fucking narrative, like the XRP narrative. Nah, but I'm still holding my shit, but I don't really. It's not dead because the team is still doing some shit. But I don't recommend anyone fucking buying anymore, bro. It's one of those where you just kind of get stuck holding, and you just kind of is now. Do I think altcoins will pump hard September, October? No, I think altcoins will start to pump in the next couple of weeks. I think the money will start to trickle down from Bitcoin back down into the alts. But you see, dominance is having a little bounce back up, tiny little bounce. But you're always going to get little bounces and then down, bounces, lower down. It's never ever going to be a straight line down. Yeah, look, in every portfolio, you're always going to get one coin that's just going to fuck everything up. And in this case, it was TET. It was TET. Where it's just non-stop going down, bro, non-stop. If the team farmed enough, and I guarantee the team probably farmed, because this is what happens, and this is a learning lesson for all of us. If you start seeing a project, having problems with their team or team members falling apart, you just have to get rid of it, bro. Because oftentimes what happens is the team members hold a big chunk of the tokens, and what that leads to is massive selling pressure. If I'm not a part of a project anymore and I'm falling out with one of the guys and I hold 1 to 2% of the supply, of course I'm just gonna fucking sell to get back at the other guy, or to just get the fuck out and secure some money. So that's a learning lesson for all of us. If you start seeing in fighting between the teams, just get rid of it, bros. You rather not take the risk. Yo, geez, narrative hopping a possible thing. Of course it is, bro. Of course it is, because you got to look at it like this, right? What happened last year? We had AI pump, we had some RWA pumps, but then because the Fed cut everything short, we never really got to rally for an extra month. In that extra month, AI agents would have cooled off, and the money would have rotated into something else. But we didn't get to see that. Why? Because the Fed cut it too early. The market cut it too early. Then Trump came in and made it 10 times worse. That's what happened. But are we going to get the same thing played out again? I don't think so. I think we're going to have a decent 2 to 3 months pumping. 2 to 3 months pumping. And, if you're not taking profits in those 2 to 3 months, then no one can really save you, to be honest. You're just not made for the crypto world. On that note, guys, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm probably going to get off just because it's too hot, bro, and I've run out my water bottle. I need to go get another bottle. But I appreciate all you guys for coming down as well. Let's just go over some of the stuff that I wanted to show you guys. One of the other things to look forward to is 50 plus altcoin ETFs being approved soon. ETH staking, Solana staking passed. Robinhood can now actually offer staking for ETH and Sol, which is massive for both of them. And that's why. And ETH volume, let's go on a coin brewer. ETH volume was higher than BTC's. And what that means is, a lot of money is starting to rotate into ETH. Where is it? Let me see if I can. Where's it gone, bro? This guy shared it like a day ago. This guy posted way too much. What the fuck? So Bitcoin ETF just saw 1.7 billion. Okay, fuck that. ETH has legs to run. Exchange inflows considered low, but they were early this year despite the higher price. Nowhere near the levels we've seen in previous weeks. That's good. Very good. Well, you just go watch his page. He shared it like a few days ago, where he compared the volume on ETH and Bitcoin. Oh, there you go. Yeah, look, there he is. So according to Glassnode, Ethereum overtook Bitcoin in 24-hour futures volume. So this just shows that smart money is starting to flow into ETH now, which is always positive. Do I think there is still going to be some summer weakness, August? There could be, but what I've learned now is seasonalities don't really mean shit. It's more a physical and a macro cycle. I don't think seasonalities that used to work in a 4-year cycle back in the days are going to be working now. Just because we have institutions now, there's a different ball game. I don't really take seasonalities different. I think if you can obviously look at the macros, if there's no problems with the macros, because right now the macros are bullish, there's no problem with the macros, and the market does not have a reason to go down. It would not go down. It would just keep going up. The market needs a reason to go down. It will always naturally trend higher. So if there's no reason to go down, if Trump can cool off with the tariffs for a bit, then the reality is, the markets is just going to keep pumping. And you, buddy, enjoy the rest of your week as well. Simon, good to see you as well, buddy. Do I think AGI a small bag? Yeah, small bag is fair enough. I still hold a small bag as well. Not a small bag, but a decent bag. I think it will still do okay, yes. Check out latest news, G. Official letter from Phantom Fed power sign. No fucking way. If that was a thing, you probably would have seen it all over Twitter. Let's see. Fuck grog, bro. What the fuck? Oh shit! Federal Reserve Chair Powell reportedly considers resigning. Yo, this is massive. What the fuck? Yo, that's actually bullish, because who's gonna come and replace him is gonna be Besant. And you know what Besant wants? Besant wants fucking whatever Trump says. So this is massive news, bro. That's crazy. I can't believe you're seeing this on live. Anyways, guys, smash the like button. Don't know why all of us can't real. Yeah, it's real, bro. It's real because if you see Watch Guru, I've never seen him post fake news. Watch Guru is a solid source, bro. It's a very solid source. One of the best sources. That's crazy though, J Deep. Fucking crazy, bro. Seasonality went out with COVID. I agree, but I don't really take seasonality serious because if seasonality was serious, well, the first 6 months of post halving year was supposed to see at least 1 month of green. Instead, we're seeing 6 months of fucking red. So seasonality is in the play. But that's crazy news though. What the fuck? I can't believe Power. I hope Power resigns, and I think they're going on to him for spending too much money in the. I think he was laundering money through the fucking Fed office. Apparently, he spent like millions in the Fed office, and that's probably fucking laundering money, in my opinion. That's probably why he's going to resign because people were getting onto him. Trump was getting onto him, and a few other people. I think Trump said to investigate what he was doing. I think this is probably why he wants to resign before that investigation happens, because he knows he's laundering money right now. People in the government don't give a shit about the government, bro. They're just there to make as much money as they can while they're there, and then they're gonna fuck off because most governments in a democracy don't stay longer than 4 years naturally. So in the 4 years, they just try to clean as much money as possible, and then once that shit is done, they're fucking off and living their life. Or AI, OORT is AI, yes, OORT is AI. The new website for OORT looks clean, bro. But like I said, I will be marketing these fuckers. And once I start marketing it, once I get a few big KOLs to get on board, is gonna do okay. It's gonna do okay. Do not worry. Do not worry. Hint will be on your list. Hint should be on my list. It's not. Yeah, I definitely add hint on my list, bro. Hint. Definitely on my list. I need to add hint on my list, yeah. Good shout, good shout. Make a new video about Sensei. I'll do that, yeah. I'll make a new video on Sensei. I'm gonna start blasting out some videos. It's all ready to explode. It will explode when the narrative happens, bro. But they've updated the website, which I told them to do, which is I do like this new website. It looks very clean. But yeah, I do like this new website though. It's a lot cleaner than the old one. Look, like I said, the people that's holding old, do not worry about. Trust me. Yeah. Once I start talking to the team on Tuesday, you're gonna see a lot more better marketing from them. Yeah, he does, bro, because like Trump wants to leave a legacy behind, and Powell also wants to leave a legacy behind. And I'll be honest, bro, so far Powell has done a good job. Like he's done a good job. And these guys, they want to leave a legacy behind because they're coming towards the end of their life. Powell is coming towards the end of his life. Trump is up there in the age. So these guys want to leave a legacy behind. They don't want to come in. These guys make plenty of money outside of, some of these other, like you see the Biden, before he came into office, had a net worth of like 1 or 2 million. I was richer than fucking Biden, bro, realistically. And then by the end of it, the fucker walked away with like 20 something million. So he's making stupid amounts of money, laundering money, doing all types of bullshit. But Trump already has money. He's worth billions outside of being a president, and people like that genuinely want to leave a legacy behind. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does. And once the tax come into full effect, when the average person has a little bit more money in their pockets and they start hearing Bitcoins at 150K, of course they're going to come in, bro. Of course they will. Why wouldn't they? They do it every single time. Why would this time be different? This is just, if you just zoom out on this chart, and this is one of the things, right? And this is where impatient people will always lose. I've said for the last 6 months, and this is what happens when you're a YouTuber. During this period, right? During this period, everyone loved me. This period right here, right? I was the best YouTuber in the world. During this period over here, as if I can control the markets, everyone calls you a scammer. This happens to every single YouTuber out there. During these periods, you're the best person in the world. You're everyone's favorite person. And then during these periods, especially when you're a fucking altcoin holder, you become a scammer, randomly become a scammer. 2 months ago, you're the best person in the world, but 2 months later, nothing's changed, but somehow you're a scammer. And then once this goes back up, which look at this, it goes up every single time, bro. And if you just use zooming out is the best thing you can do. Just zoom out, and you guys can see every single time we've come down here, we've always rallied back up to here. And then when it goes back up to here this time, you take profits. It's not that hard. Just take profits. Do not get greedy, bro. You're going to hear millions of people telling you, we're going to go higher, we're going to go higher. But don't listen to those people, bro. The way you make money in this space is you simply do against the masses. When everyone's screaming 200K Bitcoin, that should be your signal to get the fuck out and start DCing out. When you start hearing your taxi driver fucking try gambling on meme coins, fucking telling you about Bitcoin, that's a good sign for you to get out. There's good indicators to use. When Coinbase is in the top 10, that's another good indicator. There's plenty of other ones. Appreciate you, Jay, bro. Appreciate you. T13, am I cool? Nah, bro. I don't like that guy, bro. Crypto Doctor's a clown, bro. And this is, I never knew this, right? And I only found this about like a week ago. But why did these fuckers do this? Like, when the market was bearish, what was he doing? He was fucking bear posting and getting hundreds of millions of expressions because these motherfuckers get paid on their expressions. You get paid now on Twitter for having a lot of expressions. You can literally earn a salary on Twitter by engagement farming. And that's what these motherfuckers do. How many people sold because of this guy saying, sell everything, sell every altcoin, and then just for the markets to rally back up like a 3 hours later or like a day later? That's what happened. He made a post, I sold all my altcoins, sold my long-term holdings, and I'm mostly in stables. And then guess what he did? After the market rallied, he deleted his post. That's engagement farming. And he's just, people actually listen to retards like that and they get fucked because they sell something and it goes back higher and now they have to fall more and higher. Cola just had a nice pump. Yeah, because he's pumping up with Bitcoin. Well, this ain't having a nice pump. What do you mean, guys? I think most of the YouTubers watch your show and try to take on it. Probably, I don't know, man. I'm a small YouTuber. I don't really think many people watch my shit, to be honest. Will ATR 100x? Hell no, bro. What? Fuck no, bro. ATR will not do 100x, bro. It's doing nice, though. It's up. Very nice. Anyways, guys, on that note, I'm going to get off now. It is a fucking Friday, bro, and I'm frying. It's hot as fuck. I'll be live on Sunday as well. I'm going to be getting back into the lives now because the market is more fun now and we can start trading, doing a bunch of other shit. So, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Smash the like button on your way out. Appreciate all you guys, the usuals that's in here every single day. I'll see you guys very, very soon, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.